So, on the last episode of Abbie Thoughts, I told you the first part of the story of George Remus. I talked about how he grew his alcohol empire during Prohibition, a time when no one was supposed to be selling alcohol, least of all a lawyer turned whiskey runner. I talked about how rich he got making and selling illegal booze, and he started throwing very over-the-top house parties, so over the top that they inspired The Great Gatsby. Yes, Jay Gatsby's parties are based on George Remus and his way of celebrating. In one particular party, a New Year's Eve party thrown by Remus and his wife in 1922, the guests included 100 couples from the most prestigious families in the area, and as parting gifts, Remus gave all the men diamond stick pins. Not ruby, not coal, but diamond stick pins, and he gave each of the guests' wives a brand new car, a Pontiac, which, if you realize that cars are a relatively new invention at that time, that's a pretty impressive gift to receive. He also has a similar party in June 1923, and again, he gives each female guest there a brand new car. He is doing pretty well for himself. Everything is going great, but then he gets caught. He is indicted, brought to trial, and charged because they are able to show he has violated Prohibition laws. So he goes to prison for 2 years, spending time in Atlanta Federal Penitentiary for bootlegging. And while he is in there, he befriends this inmate. He gets a friend and he thinks, this is great. And he confides in this guy that his wife, Imogene Holmes, has control over his money. The distilleries he owns, the trucks he owns, the people he owns, he has put everything in his wife's name. That's a lot of money. We're talking $900 million in today's terms. So he tells this person this information, and this inmate is actually an FBI agent who's been sent there to befriend Remus and get information from him so that they can recover his money and give it to the state. And this inmate, his name's Franklin Dodge, he goes, interesting. And instead of reporting the information to his seniors, he thinks, wait a minute, all this money is just waiting there. So Dodge leaves the jail. He goes and finds Remus's wife, Imogene, and he starts an affair with her. And together they decide, let's just take all his money and live a happy life. So they liquidate all of Remus's assets, they sell his famous distilleries, and they hide as much of the money as possible. They leave Remus only $100 of the $40 million empire he built. They also try to get him deported. He was German-born after all. When that fails, they hire a hitman, offering him $15,000 to shoot Remus when he is released. The assassin doesn't follow through because he ends up getting scared that this Dodge guy is going to double-cross him and not pay him. So the assassin tells Remus about the plot. And initially, when Remus is told these things about his wife, he doesn't believe it. He says it's not true, it's not possible. We've had this grand love affair. He left his first wife for her, she left her first husband for him, they've had all the parties, etc., etc., and he just thinks this can't be possible. But in the end, he accepts it has happened, and to add fuel to the fire, Imogene is pushing for a divorce. So Remus eventually files for divorce, and he says to Imogene, let's meet for one last time and hash out how this divorce is going to go. Join me in part 3 on the next episode of Abbie Thoughts. Bye!